Hi Trump supporters, it seems that many of you have found my page. So if you want more reasons to fight with me in the comments, let me give you some. Republicans love to throw in the face that Obama deported just as many people. And you'd be correct, Obama did deport 9 million people. Now, I won't speak on my opinions of this. I'm going to simply speak facts. And the facts were that these people were already in detention centers. They weren't being pulled from Home Depots, from elementary schools. I mean, is that not just cruel? Or do you have no heart? Want some more facts? Trump is simply weaponizing ICE. He's weaponizing the military. And you say he's not weaponizing, then why would he do this in a sanctuary state? In fact, Texas is actually number 2 in housing immigrants in the entire nation. So why do this in LA then? You speak about the protesters being violent, being cruel, being all of the things that you guys say about it, but is what Trump doing not very well politically motivated? Now you talk about how Trump is getting rid of criminals. Being illegal is not a crime. Fun fact, being undocumented is a civil offense. You know what else is a civil offense? Forgetting to pay your parking ticket, jaywalking, speeding, having an unregistered pet. So Trump supporters, don't act so virtuous. You guys love to talk about respecting the rules and respecting the law. Then why vote for a man who clearly has respect for neither of those? Simply said, the President of the United States is being cruel, whether you want to see that or not. You say that the protesters are being A, B, and C, but when you feel powerless and all you can do is take to the streets, would you not do that as well? Read a history book. That's what our people have done. So yes, we will continue to rally in March. Thank you.
So it looks like we are under attack yet again. MAGA just really cannot help themselves, can they? Let me explain. So yesterday, a bunch of MAGA supporters launched a coordinated campaign targeting Midas Touch. Specifically, they took aim at our Wikipedia page and started to make all these edits. Here's an example of one of the changes that they made to our page. They wrote the following: Midas Touch is an American radical leftist propaganda organization. The network describes itself as doing pro-democracy journalism, however, is pro-leftist authoritarianism. And so there was an edit war going on our Wikipedia page. You could see all these revisions, undid revision, revision, undid revision, until finally some of the Wikipedia moderators decided to lock down the page, adding increased protection settings. You know, I just view this as another sign of their desperation. They know that they are losing right now. They know that this pro-democracy community has the energy, has the enthusiasm, and they cannot handle that. But anytime they try to attack us, and when I say us, I mean all of us, I know that this community fights back 1,000,000 times harder. So let's continue to press on and make them regret that they ever did this in the first place. Here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and add the Midas Touch podcast right now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you've already done that, please consider leaving a 5-star review. It really helps. They truly cannot handle what we are building here together, and I want to thank you so much for all your support. Thanks for always having our back, Midas Mighty, and let's keep...
Maria Corina Machado has been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, and I find the reactions from both the left and the right to be absolutely hilarious, because this is yet another example of people having zero of the facts and just running their mouth with whatever their gut is telling them. The right is upset because their 79-year-old daddy that they simped for did not win the award, and he told them he wanted the award real bad, so very sad. And the left is celebrating because Donald Trump didn't win the award. Here's the thing, this is a pro-Israel, neoliberal Trump ally who is begging the United States to come and use military force to depose Maduro so that the candidate she supports can take power. He literally dedicated the Nobel Peace Prize to the people of Venezuela and to President Trump. I'll start this by saying I think Maduro is an evil man who should not be in power, but according to one of Machado's advisors, she was coordinating with the Trump administration and had a plan in place for the 100 hours after he was removed. To install Edmundo Gonzalez, who seemingly won the election last year, but Maduro said, no, I won. He said this is all bullshit. quit and Gonzalez fled. Countries like Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, and Cuba have recognized Maduro as the winner, while other countries like Peru and Argentina have recognized Gonzalez, who fled to Spain. I'm not denying the work of Machado, I do respect that, but what we're seeing here is the concept of a proxy war that could come to fruition with a country that is top 25 in the world in oil exports. I've watched the United States go down this path before. I have no interest in seeing it happen again. Everything we're seeing here is a political game with larger countries playing war in South America. Venezuela's government has been very critical of Israel and been supportive of Palestine. Israel has clapped back at them, and then Trump put a $50 million bounty on Maduro's head. During the Gaza War of 2008 and 2009, Hugo Chavez cut ties with Israel over their actions there. Maria has talked about wanting to reestablish those ties. Read about some of the things she is fighting against: crackdowns against opposition figures, crackdowns against journalists, attacks on civil society during his increasingly repressive rule. We have this in the United States right now. The Dem Institute in Sweden called this a global wave of autocratization. They're seeing around the world democracy in retreat, more and more authoritarian regimes challenging norms and resorting to violence. It's about growing number of government critics being imprisoned and more societies moving towards militarization. It's crucial to recognize courageous defenders of freedom who rise and resist. Institute says democracy depends on people who refuse to stay silent, dare to step forward despite grave risk, and remind us that freedom must never be taken for granted. Even go on to say, with the current developments in the U.S. under the Trump administration, even that country's democracy seems to be in jeopardy as Trump persecutes his rivals, punishes critical media, and deploys the army to repress protests. All of the stuff that Maria is fighting against in her own country is developing here. Yet she praises Trump and dedicates this award to him, and people on the left are celebrating this. As American citizens are dealing with this on their own streets every single day. Actually, right now, I don't want the United States to go overthrow the government of Venezuela. I don't want Americans to go die in Venezuela. I want America to figure out her own fucking problems on her own streets where the military is. To be blunt, I hope this Nobel Peace Prize is not signaling something larger and getting the world ready for what comes next.
Here's another big failure for the orange turd. Watch this.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 goes to a brave and committed champion of peace, to a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amidst a growing darkness. The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to Maria Corina Machado. She is receiving the Nobel Peace Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela, and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy.
First of all, congratulations to Maria Corina Machado. I am so proud of you. You are an amazing democracy activist from Venezuela. I only wish I could have seen his face when he realized that he lost the Nobel Prize to a powerful Latina woman. They sent a clear message that the Nobel Prize Committee values democracy more than MAGA or Trump. But don't feel bad, Trumpy baby. You got a little bit of a mention in this video, didn't you? After all, you are the growing darkness that this man spoke of. Anytime that I get to watch somebody snatch something out of his grubby little hands that he thinks he deserves but doesn't is a good day.
Let me be the first to tell you that Donald Trump did not win the Nobel Peace Prize in 2025, and you could even say that he lost to a Venezuelan woman. As you can imagine, my initial reaction was, that is ironic and hilarious, until I realized who Maria Machado is, and that this is still quite an interesting choice in my opinion. Maria Machado is known for being Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's loudest and most public critic. Despite Nicolas Maduro's history, we all are acutely aware at this point of the Trump administration's standoff with the Venezuelan government in regards to drug smuggling gangs. In fact, Donald Trump's been a fan of Maria Machado for a while now. He started out recognizing the opposition politician as the legitimate winner of the 2024 elections that was also backed by Maria Machado. And according to mainstream news sources, there's rumors that Maria Machado is being hidden in a U.S. embassy in Venezuela. She's also been a vocal supporter of the military pressure that the U.S. and the Trump administration is putting on the Maduro regime, saying that what we're doing in the Caribbean to these supposed drug smuggling boats is a necessary measure towards the restoration of popular sovereignty in Venezuela. Trump is such a fan of her work, in fact, that he went so far as to threaten the entire Venezuelan government government and everyone in Maduro's cabinet after they arrested Machado for leading an anti-government protest in Caracas earlier this year. I'm clarifying this for personal and professional reasons. For anyone that wants to jump in my comment section and say otherwise, I'm not a fan of Nicolas Maduro. And I'm sure there are things that Maria Machado has done for the people of Venezuela and for preserving democracy in Venezuela that are deserving of adoration and praise. I just think that Maria Machado is an interesting choice for this year, considering her relationship with the Trump administration, how much support she has received from the Trump administration, and how much support the Trump administration has received from her. And I think it's completely appropriate and acceptable to be asking these questions and feeling these skeptical feelings about this decision, while also acknowledging that she may, in some aspects, deserve the prize in and of itself. Personally, I feel like Greta Thunberg would have been a much more appropriate choice. She would have been my pick, but what do I know? I'm just a music teacher and stay-at-home mom. I almost hate to put this out there because it feels too on the nose, but this feels like a way for the committee to avoid giving Donald Trump the prize while also still finding a way to stroke his ego somehow and avoid his wrath, which I'm not a huge fan of, you know?
Donald Trump did not get the Nobel Prize.
Correct.
What'd you think?
I don't know why that was even a question. Not your question. I don't know why that was even a question in parlance. It's something that he generated, he put out there, and nobody who is sane would actually consider that Donald Trump has been good for the cause of peace in the world.
How about those stimulus checks, huh? I bet you like Trump now, huh? Honestly, yeah. Like, I didn't believe it at first, but when I got my check in the mail yesterday... Wait, what? When I got my check in the mail yesterday. You got your check yesterday? Yeah, it came, as much as I hate to say it, just like Trump said it would. I just mobile deposited it. Huh. Why did you not get yours yet? Oh, no, yeah, I did. I don't know. I thought they were only going to, like, specific people. Like who? Well, like people who actually, support the man. Oh, I support him. Oh, I'm a big supporter. I've got $8,000 in my bank account now that I didn't have yesterday, so I support him. $8,000, huh? Okay, well, I'm glad you're a supporter now. Yeah, so what are you gonna spend it on? Spend what on? Your $8,000 that you got, that we both got, in the mail, in a check from Trump. Oh, well, I'm gonna do, the responsible thing. I'm gonna probably invest it. Actually, hang on, I have the absolute best place that you could put just a little bit of that money. My daughter and her friends, they're fundraising to do some of that jeering at people trying to get abortions, at the Planned Parenthood. They're gonna stand outside and yell at them. And they need snacks and jackets and all of that stuff. And they're trying to raise like $1,500 for their next event. Do you wanna maybe donate? I just thought because, you're so pro-life and you care about the babies so much. No, I do, of course. Yeah, I'll donate. Sure, fine. Awesome, you just make that check out to me. I'll get it to them.